So to be honest, I'm not sure if you, the viewer, have ever seen me ever talk one-to-one with you guys, but I want to do more like a informal introduction to myself. Who is really Viraj? So today I'm at Botanical Gardens, and I'm just gonna give you guys a small intro into my life, what I've really done this past 19 years. What really strikes me and why I came to UCR, firstly, why I even do these videos, because, when I was in high school, I was always thinking about what's next. And I started to realize, like, yeah, I can build a brand upon myself. Building a brand upon yourself means that when you're able to build that brand, you're also able to impact people a lot more. At the core of myself, I really believe that it's important to really give back to the community. And that's really the emphasis on everything I do. These things that I do in my day-to-day life, it all revolves around that one thing. But I enjoy it. I think when you're enjoying the impact that you make on people, when you're showing that, hey, people enjoy the content you're making, what other better benefit is there? I think it's been a great journey. It's been around, like, by the time this video is going to be posted, it's been over a year since I started YouTube, and it's been a great journey since. I think one of the biggest tips when starting YouTube is that you should always just learn about what people are doing, make something that switches upon. For me, everyone's making college content. Everyone's figuring out, hey, what's the newest thing, the newest trend? Am I doing man on street type content? I'm asking people what song they listen to. But what if I made that around something that's personal to me? For me, I was always very involved in ACCR on campus, things like that. And for that, I realized that there was something I could do even more. And so I think looking at how to really diversify your profile, like I'm doing videos about tours and stuff. I'm doing videos about campus culture. But I'm also doing videos about just random stuff in my life. So I think it's a very holistic and authentic view of myself. And I think people really realize that when you do it, when you put your best foot forward, there's no excuse to not apply yourself. There's no excuse not to put content out there that's not your best. And if it takes you 1 month, 1 week, 1 year to make that good video, that's all that matters. What matters is you're taking that first step. You need to take that first step because no one's going to do it for you. And if you have that vision, if you have that, just the idea, just go for it. That's what no one says. And I think that's the biggest thing. Your diligence, your work ethic, and most importantly, your passion will all come through. You need to take that first step. Another question that comes to mind when I think about my goal for my YouTube channel, my biggest thing when I started the YouTube channel was to be able to build a brand upon myself and use that to impact more people. But coming on this path, I realized that it wasn't just about impacting, but also about creating. Creating not just a brand, but creating content, creating something that people can actually value and brings value and joy and generally just a resource to people as well. That was my biggest kind of motivator to keep doing YouTube. And YouTube it's a resource. I use it for homework help. I use it for things along those lines. And I also just use it to music for whatever. It's basically a coalition for things to come around and for things like a resource hub. And so for me, I just want to build upon that. There's so much invaluable content, so much invaluable things that are available on YouTube, and I want to be like that for other people as well. My continued goals are just about creation and being able to create more resources and content for people. One thing that always comes to mind when I think about my plans with UCR, my biggest thing has always just really been about increasing the value that UCR has, especially when it comes to employers. As a business major, I know that recruiting and especially other things are hard. It might not be the most straightforward. And so for me, I've always seen how can I really improve the connection between faculty to administration as well. How can students actually feel that what they're saying is actually being recognized by the dean, by their advisors, and not just feel like they're talking to a Google form. And I feel like I'm able to work on that with ACCR, getting more clubs involved with campus. But another thing that I've always noticed on campus is also just the amount of involvement as well. And so if you guys would like to chime in, I also would like to know kind of why do you believe that students aren't that involved on campus? I'd love to know. Because that's my biggest thing. I just want to know why students aren't involved. If it comes to clubs not being that most welcoming and people not being the most inclusive, if it comes to straight up, just let me know. Because I'd love to help out and I really want to see that as well. But another thing that comes to mind when I think about UCR, I think about also the journey, is also why I chose UCR. Coming into college, I had many different options for those schools. I had a chance to go out of state, to other UCs. I actually came into UCR as a poli-sci major. So I was actually planning to go into the political science realm and go into pre-law. But I switched my gears and I realized that I liked the business world more. And so holistically, when you think about all the different types of schools, the one that stood out to me most was UCR. I'm from LA. I live about an hour from Riverside. So I think that was my biggest thing, is just the diversity. UCR is the most diverse UC out of any other school I was applied to and accepted to. UCR has the best financial aid. I received the most scholarships, most funding to go here. UCR is very underrated. Always a fan of underrated schools, and I feel like there's a lot of resources here that are being utilized as well. So that's honestly why I chose UCR. I know that my bio doesn't give me a great snapshot into who I actually am, but I think for me, one of the biggest things that people want to know is what I want to do with my college degree, my career. As a business economics student, still having a pre-law background, I think it's kind of confusing to some people. I kind of always live by the quote, to be able to do something different every day and have different challenges every single day. And to me, that narrowed it down to a lot of different things in business. So to me, I'm a very outgoing guy. I'm very social. I really like to just talk, and I'm very gregarious, I like to say. But another thing that I see all the time and that I wanted to know more about is just how to work with high profile people, how to work, but also a lot to get done and a lot to be expected of you as well. It's like similar like YouTube. There's a lot expected of you. You're put on a pedestal, and there's things that you cannot sometimes accomplish. But seeing how you can work through those differences, how you can persevere, is what I wanted to do. And so for me, the biggest thing was to be curious. It was between becoming a lawyer, going into public policy, and becoming a consultant. And to me, the most stable and the easiest to get into right out of my undergrad career was to go into management. That's kind of what I want to do with my life. I want to go into management consulting after graduation, and I want to learn more about those industries and be able to use consulting as a launch pad outside that as well. But I don't think my career ends in consulting. I think that there's a lot of things that I would like to know, that I would like to experience. But I think getting that first career experience and having that innate experience, this high stress and high stake experience, and also learning how to deal with people on a very personal, holistic basis, is something that I want to gain right after college. Because one quote I always hear a lot is just, you can always teach a person the hard skills, how to do Excel spreadsheets, how to do the back end software development, all that type of stuff. But you can't teach a person a personality and how to work with a person. That's the hardest thing to teach. My last conversation I want to have with you guys is also, what do you guys want to see in the future? I always really want to know what you guys really want to see. People who watch movies, it's always they want to be entertained. They want to get their money's worth. I want to give you guys the courage to really say whatever you want, whether it just be through the YouTube comments or through emails or through Instagram DMs, whatever. I want to know what you guys are actually thinking. So I believe that if you have an expectation, you guys want to see more content, let me know. This is not just a part-time thing for me. This is what I enjoy. This is my passion. And at the end of the day, that's what really matters. So just let me know.